Why do you think the best story wins? What's behind that?
What we're trying to do when we read a lot of times is just contextualize whatever fact or story that was within our own lives. And it's much easier to contextualize a story than a statistic because there's a human element to a good story. And it's just so much easier to remember and stick with you. I don't remember any of the formulas that I was forced to memorize in school, forced to memorize the night before the test. I don't remember a single one. But every good story that I was told, some of them when I was 6 years old, I still remember. So because it's just so much easier to remember a story than a statistic, and it's easier to contextualize it within your own life, and because there's so much emotion embedded in it, stories are like leverage for good statistics. If you just like, there's some statistic, like I just said, if I said, first platoon of Company E all died on D-Day, that's a statistic. But if you phrase that, if you put a name or a face to it, it becomes a completely different thing. I always use the example of Ken Burns, who makes the best documentaries about U.S. history. And the vast majority of what is in his documentaries are already known. A documentary about the Civil War or World War II, you know how it ends, you know what happened. There's not that much new in there, but he is a better storyteller than I think any historian has ever been in history. He can tell a story about the Civil War that will literally bring you to tears, even if you know what happened. You knew what happened, but when you hear the story and see the face and hear the music in the documentary, it will literally bring you to tears.